is really important related to your exam, because in the exam, one word substitution generally comes from a passage. You know that you will be asked, there will be questions based on a passage. The passage may be descriptive, literary or factual. But in the passages, there will be words which are related indirectly to one word substitution. The questions will be asked in such a way that you have to identify which word is that, or maybe there will be questions where you have to define the word. Then you have to know the correct meaning of the word or the meaning which is related in that perspective, in that passage or in that comprehension extract. Okay? আজিৰ ক্লাছত আমি কি কৰিম, এটা শব্দত প্ৰকাশ কৰা বুজাম য'ত কিছুমান ইংলিছ ৱৰ্ডছ আছে, যদিও সেইবোৰ ৱৰ্ডছ আমি আমাৰ ডেইলি লাইফত ব্যৱহাৰ কৰি আছো, we at times get confused in our exams. Yes? CBT examsবোৰ কি হয়, বিশেষকৈ আমাৰ ক্যালিবাৰটো টেষ্ট এসএস মূল্যায়ন কৰিবৰ কাৰণে পাতে। তো সেনেকুৱা মুহূৰ্তত, সেনেকুৱা সময়ত, the moment once you enter the exam hall, you are under some kind of stress. So, in order to come out, in order to overcome that stress, you have to know the actual and the correct content related to that subject. So, in English, there is a content, there is a part which is related to one word substitution. Now, let us start with the concept of one word substitution, where we will have some theme based words, and the themes are made in such a way by our team that it will help you to memorize those words. And even if you don't memorize, you can relate the words with its meaning. At least you can assume. But assumption, I'm not telling you that you have to go with an assumption. But when you are confused, that kind of assumption helps you a lot. Yes? Let's start. The আজিৰ আমি কি কৰিম, এটা শব্দত প্ৰকাশ কৰা, that means one word substitution. We will start with some themes, with some theme based. Okay, let's start. Now the first slide gives us some examples related with phobia. Now what is phobia? Phobia is the meaning, the actual meaning of the word phobia is fear. Jikunu bostu, the fear of something, the fear to go, to travel, to stay in some closed spaces, to fear some kind of animals. So any fear, the irrational, the irritating, exaggerated behavior that you feel once you are placed in a specific situation, that is called phobia. Now phobia, in the initial stage, it can be referred to as simple fear. Simply it can be referred to as fear. But when it is grave and it attains some kind of heights, then we term it as phobia. And once we term it as phobia, it is related with some kind of clinical treatment. It is regarded as some kind of psychological disorder or some kind of unhealthy behavior which can hamper your personality. Yes? But simply if we take in the simple terms, phobia is actually fear. Let's know some words. Now see, why these words are important, why these one word substitutions are important related to your exam, because there will be words which will be asked in such a way that you have to give the definition, what is the meaning of this word, or you have to identify, the definition will be given and you have to identify the word which exactly means the definition or the quote unquote explanation from the passage. Now you have to be thorough with the passage and along with the reading, you should also keep a pace with your understanding. Tumi passage to pohila, logote tumi bujiu pai thakibo lagibo karon time is very scarce, homoy to limited. Within that stipulated time, within that fixed time, you have to read the passage, go through the passage, understand the passage and answer the questions to the context with the passage. Now, these words will indirectly come and you have to know. It is mandatory to know a few words, a list of few words related to one word substitution. Okay, the first word that we come to know is hodophobia. Now, what is hodophobia? Now, we can't assume that hodophobia may be something related with hodo and phobia, as we know, fear. But what is hodo? Actually, hodophobia, what I am trying to explain is hodophobia is the fear to travel. Yes, the fear to travel. এতিয়া এনেকুৱা হ'ব পাৰে নে কোনোবাই ফুৰি পিনে বেয়া পায়, ঘূৰি ফুৰি বেয়া পায়, কোনোবাই অলপ ভেকেশ্যনত যাবলৈ বেয়া পায় আছে. There are people who fear to go to some kind of vacation, to enjoy vacation to a different place because they have some kind of irritation when they have to travel. They have to unsettle them, repack them, pack things, again settle somewhere for a few days and again come back and again settle. So the process entirely related with traveling gives some kind of irritation to a person. And when we identify those kind of people who fear to travel, we say them that they have a feeling of hodophobia, anxiety to travel. Yes, these are simply, we can say fear. The next level is anxiety and then we say that it's phobia. Yes. The next word is claustrophobia. Now, claustrophobia is very important related to your exam because most of the students don't know the meaning of these kind of words. I will mark a star here because this is frequently asked in this kind of entrance or competitive exams. Claustrophobia is the fear to remain in some closed space. Bondho kuthat thoka ba bondho jegat thakar jitu bhoy, when you fear that you are alone or you are in a closed space, then we term the phobia as claustrophobia. Yes, claustrophobia means which is related with closed space. Next we have examophobia. Now this is something which is related to your exams, though it is very simple and it can be understood from the word itself. It is not asked in your questions, but we have incorporated this word in today's session so that you too also know to identify the word the phobia which you are going through at this situation. Examok loi pine jitu bhoy ase tumalukor, hetu ami keneke gom pam, hetu keneke identify korim examophobia. So we have incorporated this word for the session. Next we have cynophobia. Now there are people who even fear cats, dogs or some kind of animals. It can be pet animal, it can be stray animal. But if you fear some kind of animals, that also have some kind of term, the definite term related to the phobia. Here, cynophobia is something related with fear for, what can we just assume that if there is C, we can say that it is the fear of cats. Yes, but no, wrong. I am telling you, here again you have to be clear with the words. Cynophobia is actually not related with the fear for dogs, fear for cats. It is actually the fear for dogs. Whenever you see any kind of dogs and you have some kind of irritation or anxiety, that is termed as cynophobia. Now students, champions, I am just telling you to ensure that you just jot down these kind of words and try to relate them with today's session, because even if you don't memorize, you will, your brain, actually your psyche, your brain will always try to relate this kind of situations, this kind of words with today's session. And it will definitely help you in your exam, because even if you don't memorize, it will help you a lot. I insist you that you jot down in your notebooks or rough copies. Yes. Next we have, again, now because xenophobia is related with dogs, what is the term? What can be the term which is related with the fear for cats? Now, though it is somewhere a bit far from xenophobia, this is the word, that is ailurophobia. Ailurophobia is the fear for cats. Now, just try to remember and recall in this way that xenophobia is related with dogs and ailurophobia is related with the fear for cats. Yes. Next we have the hydrophobia. Now, hydro, from the word hydro, we can just assume that something is related with water. Hydrophobia is actually the fear for water, but it is completely different from aquaphobia. Now, even aquaphobia is the fear for water, though both these words define that it is a fear which is related with water, but hydrophobia is something which is related with rabies. Once a person is affected by the disease rabies, or he is infected by some kind of when a dog bites a person, after that the consequences that lead is called hydrophobia. A dog or a person may have to undergo this kind of phobia, and the term is hydrophobia. But the general fear for water, that is, once if you fear to swim or to go to some kind of, to go near some kind of water body, that is termed as aquaphobia. Yes, can we relate? Can we associate both the words, that both of them are different and they relate to different respective orders? Okay. The word which is left here in this slide is acrophobia. Now, acrophobia is again the fear which is frequently asked in your questions is acrophobia, and this is the fear for heights. Okay. A person, when he is in the top of a building or in a mountain or hill, the fear that he undergoes once he looks to the bottom or looks down, the fear that he undergoes is known as acrophobia. Now, the fear to move in lift or escalator is escalophobia. That means you are lifting your up to the upper story of a building. But that is different from acrophobia, because acrophobia is the situation, the anxiety once a person is in a higher height. From a height, when a person undergoes the anxiety, that is called acrophobia. Yes, can we relate that escalophobia and acrophobia is completely different? Yes. Hope you have understood the first slide which is related with phobias. Then next we move on to another thing which is really very interesting with your related to your exam. Yes, let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is even more important and as well as interesting, because here we know some words which are frequently used in the newspapers and they are asked frequently in these kind of exams. Now, what are these words? We get confused, and being students, you all people also have to undergo this kind of confusions. In order to remove or evade that kind of an evasion, that kind of an anxiety-full situation, we have to go through. I am telling you, you have to know the meaning of these words. Yes. The next thing is age, something which is related with numbers. Yes. The first word is veteran. Now this word is frequently, it can be seen in the English newspaper, in the daily newspapers. But what do we actually know? What is the meaning of veteran? Now veteran is actually, now let me tell you an example, a sentence where I can say that Amitabh Bachchan is a veteran actor. It is a very simple example where you can relate that veteran is something, the words veteran is something related to a profession where a person has gone through ages, generations to build up that position. When a person is in an elevated position in that profession, it may be art, it may be culture, it may be science, it may be literature, any field, any domain where the person has given numerous number of masterpieces, or he has been related with that profession for a longer period of time, and he has reached an age of, he is in the last part of his life, or maybe in his 60s or 80s, or it can be 70s also. So when a person has gone through the entire life, his profession, and he has given his effort to his profession, we can term the person as a veteran actor, a veteran artist, a veteran singer. Yes. Now we can know that what is the meaning of veteran? A person which is, it is related with the concept of a person to a profession. Yes. Next we go to the word superannuation. Now superannuation means something related with year or per annum. Now annuation and super, both of these words when they combine, they give you a definite meaning, is that retirement. Okay. Superannuation means retirement. That means a person is being superannuated today. On today's date, when a person is going to be retired from his office, from his job, we term him as a superannuated employee. And the period after 60s is known as the superannuation period if the person has worked under an organization, it may be government or private or NGO, wherever he has been working till his age, till his 60s, till his 60th age, we term him after 60 as a superannuated employee or a person. Yes, veteran is something different and superannuation is something different. Both these words are different in the perspective that veteran is specifically related to fields like art and culture, science, technology, any field. But superannuation means when you are an employee or a retired employee from an organization. Yes? You are clear with the perspective, the differentiation? Next we move on to the word octogenarian. Now a person who is in his 80s, 81, from the age 81 to from 80 to 89. That period is known as octogenarian. That means a person is in his 80s and we term it as octogenarian. And similarly, if we relate octogenarian with septuagenarian, it is similar to some extent, but septuagenarian is something related with 70s. That means from the age group of 70 to 79. Yes? Hope you have understood these 4 words. Next we move on to the word ex officio. Ex officio again is related with the age of superannuation, or we can say after the age of retirement. But here what happens, a person is employed again even after his retirement. A person from a higher position under an organization, if he is retired and he is given the responsibility, some responsibility that will be not something which is a day-to-day basis, but he has some kind of decision making responsibilities or some responsibilities of higher definition, then we say him as an ex officio member, chairman or employee of the organization. Yes, after retirement, when a person is honored with some kind of more responsibilities, some kind of heightened responsibilities, we term the word as ex officio. Yes, hope this is clear. Next we move on. We can say that responsibility. After retirement. Hope you can view what I have written. The last word for today's session is honorarium. Now, what is honorarium? Honorarium is not related with a person. It is actually an amount. Yes? An amount, it can be cash or kind. It is a specific amount which is given to a person after he has been retired from his profession or from his designation. But still, he is getting some kind of amount. It can be cash or it can be kind. That means it can be an amount in some kind, a fixed amount, or it can be some kind of facilities that is honored to him. Now, honorarium, from the word honorarium, we can relate that it is actually from the word, it is derived from the word honor. Now, honor means a respect, and when the organization is providing some kind of extra facility to a person, to an ex-employee of the organization, so at that time we term the word, the facility, as honorarium. Yes. We can now assume that what can be the word honorarium? It is some kind of an honor given to a person in form of cash or kind. Yes? Hope you have understood the words that are given in today's session. We will come with more words, more interesting facts related to English under this kind of situations and under BPS. In BPS, we are providing interesting facts which are related, which are influential, which are helpful to you related to your CUET undergraduate exam. Let's wind up for today's session. And I insist, keep preparing for your exam. Even the last moment before your exam is very important. And try hard till your last, okay? Till your last opportunity, till the last moment of your exam. Keep preparing and hope you all join me in the next session where we will come with more interesting facts. Thank you for today's session.